So, just over a year has passed since I posted my last video. A lot has happened, a lot. And that wasn't me getting emotional, just throat things. And I felt like after having had a very surreal dream last night, which I won't go into the details of because it was quite personal to me, I woke up and I had a number of thoughts go through my head, and I decided that now was roughly the right time to do another vlog. Admittedly, I've had 2 previous right times to do another vlog, but technology doesn't like me. So basically, I literally just spent just under an hour, about 50 minutes, recording a video on a proper decent little setup on a PC with a good camera and sound and everything, and I was really, really happy. And I've had this problem with my sound on this new computer setup for a while, which has prevented me from recording anything for a long time, which has really irritated me because I wanted to, whilst I was going through everything, I wanted to publish, upload, do a thing with videos more frequently, and this was preventing me from doing so. And so today I thought I'd managed to sort out a whole bunch of issues with the computer. I was very, very happy. So I was like, oh my god, I'm not massively tech-au-fait, this is amazing. It took me years to get onto WhatsApp, years to get onto Instagram and the like, and I'm like, oh my god, do I know tech? Wow. Lies! I recorded 50 minutes worth of what I actually thought was a decent video, and I was happy with it. So I turned it on to watch it, which I always do before I post it on YouTube, only to find none of the sound had recorded. I had tested it like a minute beforehand, and it hadn't recorded. When I tested it was fine, but during the actual recording it wasn't. So I tried working out some solutions, seeing if the audio had any problems, stuff like that, and if anything the sound came back worse than it was before. I was like, no! So instead of throwing everything out the window like I kind of really wanted to, I decided I'd try recording on my laptop again. And let's see if this works, because I'm also having slight internet connection issues with this laptop. Apparently that's now default with it. So I'm going to try recording again and see what happens, and hopefully the next time I watch this, when it's on YouTube, it's actually working okay and you guys can see it and it'll be awesome. It's been difficult recording as well because I've been going through a lot of different changes, a lot of chaos in my life at the moment. Not negative chaos, just, well, it depends how you view chaos, to be fair. Just a lot of stuff has been happening through my life, and again I've tried recording a couple of times and it's not really worked. But let's try now. So like I said, the tech setup isn't the best, but I'm working with what I've got, and I've had some really lovely comments from people basically saying that they like my videos, and some of them have said that they have helped, which I really appreciate, because that's actually one of the reasons that I do this. I'm not a medical professional. I've worked within the medical profession. Somehow I can't seem to escape it. The medical profession somehow just grabs me and pulls me in. Shocker, that really, with my experience, and I'm just drawn to it. And I do apologise if it jumps or anything, but the video, because I literally just caught it jumping slightly. The information that I supply and the advice that I give is based on my own experiences, what I've gone through, how I've coped with them, some of which are still extremely new for me and which I'm still learning, but I'm hoping that by explaining them, it will help whoever watches this video in any way, whether it's today, tomorrow, or even in a year's time, where you go, oh yeah, that crazy blue-haired lady on YouTube said this, and what she said actually makes sense now, so use as you will. And that, or, you know, you can just watch this and see if I snap or something, or just do something slightly weird, or something happens in the background. I don't know, let's see what happens. I don't know what's going on with me. I think the loss of the previous video has done something to me. Anyway, so I've made notes, I've tried to be organised. Let's see how long that lasts. So one of the things I wanted to talk about was fatigue, general fatigue and exhaustion. And it's funny because you can find yourself doing the best you can. You find yourself eating a proper diet, trying to get some kind of exercise, walking or whatever in, you try and get to sleep, like 8 hours as much as you can, and you still find yourself absolutely exhausted. You're like, what's wrong with me? What is the deal with this? Why am I so goddamn tired? And I went through times where it would actually prevent me from doing things. I'd constantly try to sleep because I'd think, oh, those extra 15 minutes will help because I'll get my energy back, and then it doesn't make much of a difference. So I found myself napping or sleeping constantly, which I will do if I absolutely need to, but with no real marked difference. Oh God, by the way, I'm getting distracted really easily by random thoughts which keep coming in. Again, because I literally woke up and had this idea to record, so I started doing this. But my mind seems to occasionally float off, so I'll have moments like this. And there was a point where it stopped me from doing things because I wanted to get rest and have that moment of deep sleep before I woke up and went, oh, I actually have energy now, I can do this thing, I'm happy to do this. And it never seemed to work, and so I just went, I'm going to be tired anyway, might as well just get up and do the thing and just feel exhausted and just embrace it, sod it. And I cannot remember when this happened exactly, but something in my mind clicked that when I tried to understand why, I was trying to understand the situation in which my mind and my body were in, because, you know, they're both connected. Whatever happens to your mind affects your body and the like, which is one of the reasons you get stomach aches when you're feeling stressed or anxious or whatever, because the vagus nerve, V-A-G-U-S, I think it's called. I need to look it up, but I don't want to do this whilst I'm videoing. It's connected. It's the biggest nerve in the body to the brain, and it's connected. From the brain to the stomach. I'm not a medical professional. I just learn stuff and pass it on. The mind, how your mind is, can affect your stomach. And in turn, it can affect your energy. And I realised the reason that I was so exhausted is because I have lived pretty much my entire life in fight or flight mode. And with the occasional fawn mode thrown in. Fawn mode is the people pleaser type thing, where it kind of accompanies the whole flight or fight thing. You might feel like the fight or flight, and you instinctively go into fawn sort of thing. I think that's how it works, from my basic research. And I'm constantly in fight or flight mode. And that's shattering. That's so tiring. Absolutely so tiring. It's like a day at the gym because your body's constantly working out. It's got the chemicals flowing through it. I think it's cortisol that's the negative one. It's got it flowing through your body. And it's exhausting. So your muscles are constantly on the go. The way I describe it is like, it's like having a jaguar in your peripheral vision. And you know that at some point it's going to leap out and it's going to attack you and it's going to hurt. It's going to really hurt. Because they say that anxiety and stress and all that kind of stuff, it can hurt you physically, it can cause physical pain, even if it's just on the subconscious level. And so you're just waiting for it to pounce, and you're constantly on the alert, and that's exhausting. So I've spent all this time in flight or fight mode on the basis of things I've encountered in the everyday, from like work or waiting to be told by the hospital that there's something more wrong with me. And it's funny, you never realise how serious a situation in your life is until you vocalise it to people, and they then react to it, and you think, oh, that's not normal. Okay, shit. And a few times now I've mentioned the ailments that I've had throughout my life, like the scoliosis when I was 14. I had I had a number of urinary issues, the kidney thing, the liver thing. I got treated for something that is caused by kidney transplants, which is why they keep an eye on you so much. It's completely fine, they can treat it quickly. And I've also got a disc degenerative disease as well, an inflammation of the nerve in my spine, which is going to get burnt out at some point because it started to really cause me problems. I've had it for years, but it's must be there. And I describe all this stuff to people because I've also got Reynolds, I've also got dodgy circulation. And I've actually described this to people, and they said, I've had people say to me in an amusing fashion, I completely get this humour, it makes me laugh, how are you still alive? How are you moving? How did you not fall down more? And you kind of think about it and go, no, it's true. I face these battles, and I kind of come through to the other side, and I'm okay, I've made it through to the side, so I'll just keep going on and then hit another obstacle or another battle. And it's like I've said in therapy to so many therapists, I'm constantly fighting. Therefore, because of that, because of the things I'm always facing, I'm in fight or flight. Because something's going to happen to me, something's going to go wrong. I'm going to go to the doctors, and then the next day they're going to call me up and say, we've found something in your blood, so you have to come in for treatment. Which has happened. It's fun. The hospital essentially became my second home. And, brain don't tangent, go back. And, so yeah. When your body is dealing with all of those fight or flight chemicals, it's absolutely exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. And you know when you're in that mode, when you're physically tense. You don't even realise you are. You have to actually physically concentrate and realise you're physically tense. Your shoulders are raised, your jaw is clenched, everything is ready. You're like that. You're kind of tapping things. You're fidgety. You've got this energy going through you because you're ready. You're preparing yourself. And it's not until I think to myself, I literally think to myself, I do a scan, I go, no, I think I'm okay. And then I start scanning from my head down to my jaw, down to my neck, and my shoulders, especially this bit here. And then just the rest of me, and I go through myself, through my chest, and through my abdomen and my stomach and everything. I'm like, oh no, I was tense. I was really tense. Oh, Jesus. I don't realise it. But I'm just filled with this intense, tense energy, despite thinking, I'm actually fine, I'm relaxed, there's no problem here. Yeah, I'm really not fine. I'm still very tense and very anxious. I'm just waiting for something to happen. Maybe because I'm waiting for something, or I know something's about to come my way, and I'm feeling that tension. And again, it works on a very subconscious level, so you have to make yourself conscious of some elements of the subconscious, and just calm yourself. And sometimes it hurts because you're like, ow, I did not realise I was in that pose. It's kind of like, I don't know if many of you have encountered this, but if you pick up a heavy item, a heavy object, and you're holding it, and you're like, no, I'm okay, no, I'm good, no, I can do this, I'm alright. And then you're finally able to go, okay, I can put this down now. And you put it down, and you go, oh my god, that was heavy, and then I realised, whew! It is almost the metaphysical, the mental form of that. Your mind is making you physically carry an invisible weight. And it's so weird when you realise it. And I've read so much about all these different things, but when you actually do... Sorry, my chair's creaking, drives me crazy. When you actually do the physical scan of where am I tense, you're like, oh god. And then the slight stomach issue comes along because you've been so tense, your stomach goes, can I relax now? Oh. It's like, oh, I need to know. Apparently, I actually read recently, one of the reasons that you need the bathroom if you get nervous is because your body's preparing itself for the fight. So you have to evacuate so that you get rid of all the toxins from your body. And then you're prepared. It's one of the reasons, apparently, you get nervous before, I don't know, stage fright or something, or before something big's about to happen and you're very excited but you have to pee or you have to get to the toilet or something. That's why. It's your body getting rid of all the toxins. It's unbelievable what our body does to prepare us and to tell us that it's stressed. It's really incredible, and as you start to learn it, it makes so much sense about so many different things. Again, just learning this myself, just going through the process myself, and it's fascinating to learn. I think that's one of the reasons I've been in so many medically health-based jobs, because it kind of helps teach me about what I've gone through, or even what family's gone through, because I've had so many family members who've been poorly. And it's fascinating to read about, because what the mind goes through as well affects the body so much more than we could anticipate. And a lot of you may already know this, but it is the whole, because I've recently learned the hidden aspects which were hidden by my body from my consciousness. I'm like, I thought I was doing really well, and there was a hidden bit underneath that. Shit. Now I know. So I've been practicing on the whole just relaxing and stuff, which is also why I ache so much after stressing, because your body's been swamped by cortisol, and now it's getting the chance to relax. You're like, ow, my muscles really hurt from all the toxic stuff and everything. So yeah, anyway. So that'll move me on to self-care. One of the things that we need to do, which helps us channel into that and helps us release it and Actually, before I get onto that, I'm going to get onto adrenaline quickly. Because if you've spent a lot of your life with adrenaline going through you and getting ready for a lot of chaos, a lot of metaphorical fighting, so to speak, you get addicted to the feeling of adrenaline. And when you're not feeling the adrenaline, it can be exhausting and frustrating. You almost look for the next shot, so you do stuff to give yourself that sense of adrenaline again. I've always been at the proviso here. I've always been a bit of a fast driver. I've never been in any accidents, knock on all forms of wood, because I have a strong reaction time, and if I am feeling at all poorly or disorientated in any way whatsoever, I will drive extremely carefully and slowly. But it's a case of I will always stick within the speed limit as well. She quickly adds as she realises that she's about to post this online. Good work. But basically it's a case of, it's the whole adrenaline thing of, if the situation which you were anticipating has finally passed and the adrenaline comes down, you look for another rush. So if I'm cycling, I will cycle very, very quickly because it gives me that rush. And your body's not used to not dealing with it, so you almost have to retrain yourself to just calm down, to just stop. That's when the impatience then kicks in, and you start, like, the vibrations start, you start twitching, you have a tick, you I don't know, that kind of stuff. Because you're kind of creating your own system, if that makes sense. That might not make sense. Basically, it's a case of you're trying to recreate that sensation because you're so used to it. So self-care. Now, this is an interesting aspect because I've spent many, many years reading on self-care being what you have to do. Well, things that you should do, like, you should sit down and read a book, you should have a bath, you should go for a walk, you should avoid television and do this thing, you should do that thing. This is what is considered self-care because it calms the mind. Yeah, that stuff has never 100% worked out for me. On some occasions, it's been exactly what I need. I need to read before I go to bed. I need to have a bath because I ache from whatever, like the cortisol rushes and stuff. But sometimes you're told not to binge watch that program, or you're told you need to get up and move around and stuff. Yes, you do. But what I've recently been doing for myself is doing what I need, what my body's telling me I need at that moment. And you need to decipher between whether it's an adrenaline rush thing, you need the adrenaline, or whether, for example, I need to just stare at that wall for a bit. I just need to do that for a little bit. Just blah. Just become one with the wall. Wall, you're my friend now. I like you, wall. You just need to do that. Or you need to lie in bed and just stare blankly at some kind of program you're watching, no matter how blasé or rubbish that program is. You're just into that program. You're just staring at it whilst lying in bed. Or you need to manically clean the house. Or you have a need to do a thing. Do it. Because it's what you need at that moment in time. And my brain is now contradicting me with a couple of other things, because it's very possible that it's a manic episode. It's very possible that it's something you need to review. For example, I will clean when I've got a lot on my mind and I just need to... I need to distract myself. I need to give myself the space to be able to process the information. Basically what I'm saying is, if you lie down in a bath or you're sat down reading and you find yourself doing this, that's how I relax. Well, that's how I used to relax. That's not what you need. If you need to go for a drive for about half an hour and just drive and let your mind wander, or ideally whilst focusing on the road, and all the other people around, don't be a dick, then do that. If you need to take a moment of just being sat in a corner and just existing, then do it. Because you need to do what your mind needs you to do. And that is self-care. Sometimes one of my ways of self-caring is I'll watch a hair video and I'll then find myself, I don't know, like combing my hair or doing something new to it. Like I cut my own hair, for example, because I can't be bothered to go to the hairdressers, and probably explains why it looks a bit weird, but meh. And that almost helps my mind click into a new place, click into a new level, because I'm doing what I need at that moment in time. And it's just taking a couple of minutes just to do that can actually help you, what's the word, like two cogs kind of moving like that, fit back into place kind of thing. You sort of change your environment, you sort of change your mindset, because if you do what you think you have to do, that causes you more stress. I have to do this, therefore I will do this. I have to do this because this is what society dictates. You're going to feel worse because you're going against what your body needs. Admittedly, certain habits aren't the healthiest, and you need to consider with yourself if it is a healthy habit. And you need to consider to yourself why you're drawn to doing the thing that you want to do, that you feel you need to do. What is it that's drawing you to doing that? I need to lie in my bed for the next half an hour and just stare at a wall. Why do I need to do this? It's because I'm doing so much, I'm not letting my brain just stop and think. I need to binge watch a YouTube video, at least 4 YouTube videos. Binge watch 4 videos, yeah, binge watch like 3 hours worth of videos. Why do I need to do this? It's because I need a certain part of my brain entertained whilst another aspect of my brain just focuses. Sometimes I'll sit there and I will just doodle, and I will just draw circles or just do something a bit weird and a bit creative, because it just helps the mind refocus. And sometimes it's trying to tell you something, and if you're not listening, you're putting yourself into a more negative position. One of the things I've learned about this whole process of what I've been going through recently is I need to listen to myself more, because that helps me understand what I'm going through. One of the things I hadn't realised I was going through this whole time, which sounds a bit weird given the fact that it was about 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, was the grieving of my kidney failure. Because although it was 6 or so years ago, when my kidney thing happened, and then after I got the transplant, literally like as soon as I got the all clear that my transplant was okay, even before that I was told to calm the hell down, because I was rushing so much. I wanted to get back into society. I wanted to be a functional member of society. I wanted to get back into working. I wanted to go out and do things. I wanted to feel like I had energy. I wanted to feel like I was normal again. I wanted to feel like a human being who had health and stuff. And so the physical aspect of me, not a problem, that was fine. I healed, like I had a textbook heal. I was amazing. And I actually had, when I told doctors, I'm 2 weeks, I had my operation 2 weeks ago, they're like, holy crap, really? That's amazing. And it's one of the benefits that I've had as somebody who's undergone a lot physically. I can heal really quickly, so I'm like a really shit Wolverine. And one of a set of skills that I have, they're a bit pants, but you know, they're useful in some respects. I have a number of those. And what I didn't do is I didn't let my mind heal. I didn't let my emotions heal. I didn't accept what I'd gone through mentally, physically, and psychologically. Every time I have a brain fart like this, I put it down to the fact that I'm bilingual, because I speak Spanish as well, and I speak Spanish like, I don't know, 30-40% of the time, and so I've got 2 words, I've got words and word structures going around in my head, and I have to kind of fight for the right one. And I do often say English sentences with a Spanish structure, and which is why I sometimes don't make sense when I speak. So yeah, I do have to sometimes pause to work out what words I'm actually saying. And it wasn't until I've had numerous therapists, and it wasn't until I had the most recent one during the pandemic, because I almost lost myself during the pandemic, because I went through so much. I went through so much, and I was feeling the pressures of work, and that wasn't a good time for me. And sorry, my brain is trying to sidetrack me, desperately trying to sidetrack me, and I'm trying to push it back again. Basically, my therapist essentially asked me a couple of questions which made me realise I'd never fully grieved the fact that I'd gone through this huge physical trauma, and the fact that I'd gone through something that was, essentially the fact that I'd nearly died. And I hadn't mourned this fact, the fact that I'd essentially lost my 20s because I'd been ill. And I actually struggle with the fact that I'm the age I am now, because I never felt really like I went through the process to get to this age, if that makes sense. God, when did everything start? My mid-ish to late 20s, I was ill for most of it. My brain was fogged. I didn't know what was going on most of the time. I did, but I had a distorted view of it because of the toxins in my system. And so now that I'm healthy and well again, I'm like, I can relive them. Excellent. But yeah, basically it's a case of I never allowed myself to grieve that time. And I started doing that, and it hit me like a brick wall. Oh my God, it hurts so much. And I'm still kind of coping with that because of the pandemic, because of everything that happened. I'm still going through that process. I'm kind of now I think, sorry, I just had a realization. I think I'm now in the acceptance stage of it. And I'm laughing because I remembered that a couple of weeks ago. Might have even been last week. I have such a distorted sense of time, it's messed up, so I have calendars everywhere. I actually thought to myself, if I've been going through the grieving process, then when do I know that I've reached acceptance? I think I've literally just had that moment of, I'm there. But what happened to me was messed up. It was extremely messed up. And it's messed up at the fact that I've been going through things, even despite the fact that the transplant was a massive success. So I've been exhausted, physically exhausted, because I've been fighting myself. I've been fighting myself, and I've been prepared for the world to collapse on me, because it has several times, still repeatedly into the future. And yeah, I'm probably going to still keep meeting obstacles and stuff like that, and hitting harder times that still test me and everything, because one, my life is a fairly unusual, chaotic one, and two, because that's what happens to us in life. I mean, the pandemic's just happened. Life isn't, to me, a linear set thing. Stuff happens constantly. And I'm exhausted because I have spent, I don't even know how many years now, trying to make my life the socially acceptable one that we're ingrained and indoctrinated for it to be. And my life's not normal. My life is very, very weird, very, very strange. And coming to realise that is oddly nice, because it kind of helps me realise that I'm probably not going to live a life which a lot of people do live, quite calmly, quite happily. That's not meant for me. And doing this kind of alleviates the exhaustion, because I'm fighting for a particular way of being, fighting for a particular way of life, and it's not going to happen for me. Because, or at least it'll happen in very different, unexpected ways. And I've undergone so many, as well as health, I've undergone so many different strange things, which I've explained to people, thinking they're completely normal, and people have gone, whoa, that's big. I'm like, is it really? I'm just living through it. I don't know. This isn't normal? Okay. Well, this isn't what people go through? And it makes me laugh, because it's so surreal. It's so, you watch this kind of stuff on TV. People watch this kind of TV because it's so unusual. I'm like, well, there we go, that's happening. And I think that's... Did I do self-care? Yeah, I did self-care. I think that's what I'm currently trying to explain in this video now, is the fact that I'm coming to terms with the fact that I live a very unusual life, and for the life I have tried to lead, it's a very unusual life. And I'm now kind of going with the flow to see where it takes me. I have no expectations of life. Because every time I've had certain expectations or certain plans and like, life has gone, I'm just going to take that and flick it really far and see where it lands. And it's like, okay, bye. Catapults or something. See, this is why I love catapults. I think catapults and trebuchets are fucking amazing because they just go, wee, bye. I think I might have broken myself. Oh god. The insanity's kicked in. This is what I'm actually going through moments of realization here. And like the whole acceptance thing. And it's kind of nice because it's taking a lot of, oh my god, was it this video or another video where I just realised I was sat here really tense because I was getting really kind of excited and built up. And, so I'm just accepting things the way that they just go has helped me take a lot of pressure off me. And one thing that I've actually done I actually did this a while back, which has actually helped me a great deal, is, and I feel like this is something that may have come across as slightly sad for people, like, oh, that's a shame that you feel that way, but I don't necessarily, no, I think that goes under expectations. I was going to say I don't have goals. I have things I would like to have happen. I have things that I will work towards, but I don't necessarily have a set thing of, in 5 years' time, I want to do this. Because life has taught me that so many ridiculously unexpected things happen. Do work towards where you'd like to be, but expect the unexpected from every damn corner. Because that's how this life works. And if it hasn't for you, and you've actually lived a fairly, I don't know if linear it would be seen as negative. If you've lived a life where things have worked in accordance to a certain thing, tremendous, awesome, that's really, really cool. I celebrate the aspects of your life. That's really sarcastic. That's really good. I'm genuinely happy that people have accomplished different things in different ways, etc. But sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes it doesn't, and life, like I said, pa-pang! It just flings us off in other directions. Let it happen, because the more you fight it, the more you fight the general concept. If you work hard towards something, just let the things happen. Ah, God, this is fighting against something. See, I'm still going through it. I'm still going through the process. You will go where you need to go. If you want something in particular, you will go where you need to go to reach that thing. And I feel like my entire life... How do I word this properly? For example, I don't think I was destined for a certain line of work. And because I've been really struggling with different varieties of jobs and the like. And I've now decided, and the last job I had, it was really, really good, but I had I struggled with aspects of it, and I was struggling to the point where it affected my mental health. They were actually a really good company, and as soon as my mental health kicked in, mainly because of the pandemic, they were extremely supportive, and they did everything they could to help, but in the end I thought, I need to work on me. And so I had to take time to just work on me, and I was asked, do you want to come back afterwards? And I said, no, I need to step away completely. I appreciate the help, but I do need to step away and look after myself. And it's a very, very ridiculously difficult step to take. But it's a case of, if life has different plans for you and it starts taking you in a different direction, sometimes you've got to take that direction. And I'm now looking for a very, very different form of work, which I'd never anticipated looking for. And I feel calmer in myself because I know it's something that it's something that nourishes me as a person. Because I've done the whole doing jobs that just don't quite fit me, and I've suffered for it. And it really, really, really affects me. And I'll be like, no, it's fine, it's just work stress. But no, it's genuinely really affecting me, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to put my mental health first in that case. because you do that. You make sacrifices. You put your mental health. You kind of put your mental health aside and try and sort this and that out. But I've been spending this time trying to sort out my own mental health and doing things that work out for me. And sometimes life will give you the opportunities. I'm trying not to make this sound, because let's put it this way, I am somebody, I do have a certain level of faith. It's not religion, but it's a certain level of faith in how the world works. Do as you wish, and if this makes you go, oh god, no, screw this, she's getting religious, bye, that's fine, do as you wish. But I'm just saying that I'm learning far more to go with the flow, and to allow what needs to happen. I'll have ambitions. I'm actually ridiculously ambitious. I will have things I want to work towards, but I won't have the whole set thing of I need to get there. I'll just kind of poodle along. And I don't know if I'm explaining this properly, because again, this is all very new for me. I've established this within the last couple of months or so. Releasing how I previously used to function mentally. I'm rewiring how my brain works, because how it works before didn't work for me. I was stuck in certain ingrained way of thinking to certain approaches and stuff, and I'm rewiring myself. And it's a very weird experience, very, very fascinating new weird experience, because I will say certain things and I will find that I disagree with myself. But at the same time, because I can hear the counter arguments, I can hear people saying things or thinking things. So I'm trying to stay on track with what I've learned. But this is in relation to what I'm going through. Other people may have completely different experiences and take what they learn from this, what I say in this, and apply it to different aspects, or maybe in like a year's time. I think I mentioned this before. I've recorded this so many times now. Like, what did I say in this video and say in that video? What I'm basically saying is I am learning different ways of being myself. Not to mention the fact that I am learning how to be me. That's a challenging one. That's an interesting one. That's a fun one. I am learning how to be me. I have a much better idea of who... I have a better idea of who me is. But I'm still learning. And that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to go through as many different experiences as possible now. Because it's fun. It's really exciting. I am my own DIY craft project. And this is actually quite fascinating. That's another moment of realization for me, because I am a very creative person. I enjoy arts and crafts and stuff like that. My perfectionism tends to get in the way, which is very frustrating, which tends to be one of the reasons why my paintings tend to be very chaotic and haphazard, because it forces me to it encourages me to step away from the conventional, the linear, the stuck, which I was in before, because that's not how my mind works. I like order, I like structure, I like routine to help me get through things, but at the same time, I like artistic flows, I like colours, I like a world of creativity and wonder and everything, that curiosity, different things. I embrace that. And it's now something I'm trying to allow myself to feel and put myself into, because technically speaking, the way in which my mind works doesn't work with the conventional workforce flow. And so I'm trying to find myself a role which embraces that, which I can flourish in. And so at the moment, I'm doing that myself. My point was, I try and be creative with different projects and the like, with painting and everything, and now I think that I've turned that onto myself, of rediscovering who I am. And the funny thing is, I am not just one thing, I am a variety of different things. And society tries to put fixed labels on us, of you are like this, you are like that, you are like the other. Yes, but at the same time, I'm also everything else. Because I have a light and fluffy, colourful side. I have my dark and grim side as well. And I have so many different aspects of myself. It's a way of, how do I use this to demonstrate myself to people? And it's like, as soon as I meet people, I'll try and understand more about them, so I know which side of myself to show. I mean, everyone does that. It is a sociological thing. We will try and wear the right mask for the right people. But at the same time, I'm trying to do that in a sense where I'm not also damaging myself. Because I have tried to do that in the past. I have tried to make myself into a person I am not, to therefore fit in with a certain group of people, and gone, that's not quite working. And so this, I mean, I have progressed a little bit more on from that, and I've made a whole bunch of amazing friends over the last few years or so, because they've all seen who I am and have accepted me, and I've kind of I've created these wonderful moments of wonder for them as they're like, how the hell does your brain work? It's like, hi. And I'm relearning who I am based on all these experiences that I've been through and trying to understand me. And that's a challenge. But I am my latest DIY craft work. I don't know how arrogant that sounds. Fuck it. That's who I am. And I've been learning that through understanding where my exhaustion comes from, through doing self-care which suits me, and through giving myself time to understand myself. And that has also been through searching for another form of employment for me. And it's an adventure. It's a very exciting adventure. And yeah, that probably sounds slightly cliche, but to be honest with you, my life's become progressively more and more cliche as time has gone on. And I feel like there's more I want to say, but I also feel like there's a possibility of my rambling. I'm going to see if I can close this video off now and test it to see if it works, because I'll be very sad if it doesn't. But what I'm saying is that I have reached a... No, I haven't. I'm still working on it. Never mind, ignore that. I'm hoping that aspects of this video do help people. Whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's in a year's time. And that watching the processes that I go through rings a bell, that's the one, resonates with yourself. Fun times. And if part of the self-care that you feel you need to go through is writing different comments on here, if one of those is writing lengthy negative comments, go for it. If that's what works for you, I'm not going to stop you. I'm going to be fascinated by it, and actually be very fascinated by your psychology as to why you need to put up those kind of negative comments. And I want to say that a lot of people do actually put up nice comments, which I very much appreciate. And I do try and comment, I do try and respond back. But because my head is very complicated, I tend to look at the comments and go, oh, that's really nice, thank you so much. And then the butterfly whittles out of my brain and goes, ooh, shiny! So it's not an intentional thing. I get very distracted, but I do see the comments, and I do appreciate them all. Even the negative ones, or not the negative ones, but the ones which are trying to get a reaction. And I appreciate those people who in the past have actually written things to defend me, or to basically say, don't say stuff like that about her. I do find that very sweet, but don't worry so much about those, because people are fascinating. Psychology is fascinating. How people respond and react to different things is fascinating. And yeah, if that's what a person feels they need to do, I'm just curious to know why, and that's it. I hope this helps. Have a tremendous evening, tremendous day, tremendous week. Be tremendous. I don't know. That really was cliche, I'm so sorry. But yeah, take care and have a good one. Peace out.